Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Local cases of COVID-19 have jumped to 966. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt, and today's numbers represent an increase of 117 cases from yesterday. County Health says we will see more than 1,000 cases in tomorrow's update. And the county reported its 16th coronavirus death today, a 98-year-old woman. New tonight, a second TSA agent at Lindbergh Field tested positive for COVID-19. The agent last worked on March 24th at a security checkpoint. All employees who worked there at the same time were notified. The employee is at home resting. Our local law enforcement is going to begin cracking down on people who are ignoring the orders for public safety. And that includes non-essential businesses that have continued to stay open when they shouldn't.
The governor didn't put out an executive recommendation. Dr. Wooten didn't put out a public health recommendation to be followed when it's convenient. These are orders, and we're reaching a critical time in our county's public health history right now. And I think the days of trying to get voluntary compliance are really over. So the message is going to go out to all of public safety here in the county that we will start issuing citations for violation of the public order.
The county is also closing all parking lots at beaches and parks to cut down on people gathering there. Employees at grocery stores and pharmacies will have to start wearing masks, and the new county mandate will take effect this weekend. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more on how stores are now scrambling to meet this directive.
San Diego County taking new measures to stop the coronavirus. By Saturday, tens of thousands of workers at grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, and convenience stores will have to start covering up their nose and their mouth.
I don't know how anybody is going to get that many face coverings that quickly. So there's going to be possible that somebody's wearing a bandana or a t-shirt.
Todd Walters is president of the union that represents grocery and drugstore workers. He says ideally he'd like to see employers provide the masks.
Obviously, if I'm managing a retail store, I don't want people wearing socks or bandanas or t-shirts around their face. I'd want something that looks appropriate, something that can be cleaned, and something that's going to fit nicely.
The California Grocers Association, which represents the majority of supermarket chains and many independent grocery stores in San Diego County, sent a statement that says, in part, with such short notice given by San Diego County, grocery companies will be scrambling to be in compliance by Saturday's deadline. We look forward to hearing from the county quickly on how it will support grocers securing appropriate face coverings for all its workers by April 4th. Doctors say people don't always show symptoms even if they carry the virus. The mask isn't necessarily to protect the wearer, but protect those around them, and any kind of fabric should be effective.
We do not think that this virus transmits literally by flying through the air, meaning you can just breathe deeply next to somebody and get infected. It's generally transmitted by droplets which are expelled when somebody coughs or sneezes.
There have been a few cases of grocery store workers testing positive for COVID-19 in the county, but Walters says the public has a responsibility too.
I quite honestly think that there's more odds that somebody who's sick and doesn't know it is shopping in a store or going to a pharmacy, and they have more of a chance of infecting somebody, one of those essential workers.
And the county is also encouraging the public to start covering their faces. That is on top of existing guidelines to social distance, wash your hands, and stay at home. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
San Diego medical device company ResMed is at the forefront of the race to produce critical supplies in the war against coronavirus. And Mayor Kevin Faulconer wants other local manufacturers to follow suit.
The President signed a new Defense Production Act order. It requires 6 medical device companies across the nation to produce ventilators. One of those companies is ResMed, one of San Diego's most innovative and successful businesses. In fact, I spoke with ResMed just a couple of days ago, and they were already dramatically ramping up production at their facilities overseas, doubling and tripling their efforts. So I appreciate everything that they are doing.
Today, the mayor challenged San Diego companies to pivot production to whatever items they can make, things such as face shields, masks, and hand sanitizer. Tomorrow morning, Chula Vista city leaders will hold a news conference to address what it's doing to limit the spread of the coronavirus. They will discuss their stay-at-home measures, what's closed, and which businesses are essential to stay open. The U.S. aircraft carrier captain who urged the Navy to do something more about an outbreak on his ship has been relieved of duty. It comes just one day after a memo that Captain Brett Crozier wrote was leaked. 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena spoke to the wife of one of the sailors on board about the conditions they're living in.
With the number of coronavirus cases continuing to rise on the USS Roosevelt, those on board and loved ones back here at home are growing more and more concerned.
He just has like a cough and I guess sore throat, like really dry throat and everything. He's tried to go to medical, but they said that he needs a fever before he can even like get seen over there.
Brenda Rosaroso's husband is a cook on the ship. He tells her the close quarters on the aircraft carrier make it difficult to stay away from anyone who might be sick.
They don't even wear masks on the ship anymore. They only give them one mask for and it only lasts basically for a week is probably good enough for her.
Rosaroso says her husband and others were upset by the Navy's decision Thursday to relieve their captain, Brett Crozier, of his duties. This after a memo the captain sent about the coronavirus outbreak was leaked. In it, he warned that decisive action needed to be taken to save the lives of those on board.
People were mad about it because he put himself last before his sailors. He put his sailors first.
Navy leadership said Crozier was removed for showing extremely poor judgment by sending the memo out to too many people. But Rosaroso says there are those who support what he did.
I guess they're starting a petition on the ship. And then I just saw on the Facebook page for the Theodore Roosevelt that people are signing it. The spouses, all members of the ship are signing it.
In the meantime, the effort to get more sailors off the ship and housed on the island of Guam is still underway. But the Navy says some will have to remain to perform essential tasks. Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
This afternoon, the San Diego Pan-Pacific Law Enforcement Honor Guard escorted the family of Mary Lou Armour to the airport. She's the first law enforcement officer in California to die of the coronavirus. Armour was a detective in Santa Rosa, but she started her career in National City. Her sister says she got into law enforcement because her father was in the military, but above all, she loved helping people.
She always put people ahead of her and made sure that, they were taken care of. And, she always had everybody's best interest at heart.
Because of COVID-19 restrictions, Armour's family is unable to say goodbye to her in the way they would want to. And the second California law enforcement officer to die of the virus passed away this morning. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department escorted the body of Deputy Terrell Young to a funeral home today. Young was a 15-year veteran of the department. Millions of American workers without paychecks are scrambling to find solutions. Unemployment numbers released today doubled record job loss numbers from just last week. My co-anchor Steve Atkinson has more on the financial fallout from his home studio. Steve?
Kim, these were some startling numbers that came out today. The Labor Department is now reporting 6.6 million people in America have filed for unemployment. Almost 1 million of those people are right here in California. And the money from that stimulus package that President Trump signed last week can't get here soon enough for Americans. And that's part of the problem, too. Receiving those benefits, that's going to be a battle on its own. Unemployment phone lines and the websites, they are crashing right now all around the country. They're overloaded by the overwhelming volume of requests since the outbreak of the virus and the work stoppage. But Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says small businesses are about to get a lifeline. He claims a paycheck protection program for small business owners should be up and running by tomorrow, aimed at saving jobs.
You use this to pay your workers. Please bring your workers back to work. If you've let them go, you have 8 weeks plus overhead. This is a very important program.
And to make sure that money gets into the right hands to put Americans right back to work, there is an aggressive oversight committee led by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to hold the administration accountable on this. Now, there is some hope, too, as well, Kim. The San Diego Workforce Partnership is offering free job assistance online. It also says it has links to at least 200 jobs here in San Diego. At least that's more than zero, which is what a lot of people need right now. For more information, you can visit workforce.org/portal. Kim, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. In the meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom says California now has a website where people who lost their jobs can get help finding employment.
Bitwise has partnered with LinkedIn and Salesforce to create a new site called Onward CA.org. Onward CA.org. And that's about getting us back up on our feet. Not just small businesses, now people that have been laid off that need a job. Bitwise has already created a remarkable website to match open jobs to individuals and their particular skill set. They actually prompt 37 questions to specify where you are geographically, what your exact skill set is, what your wage preference may look like. And then they match you with open job listings throughout the state of California. Already 70,000 open jobs are now listed on their site.
That website again is onwardca.org. 1.9 million Californians have filed for unemployment since March 12th. An average of 100,000 Californians are applying for unemployment every day. And we want to hear from you. How are you getting through the challenges of the coronavirus shutdowns? Send us your stories to tips@10news.com.